Welcome to the LFA 180 preliminary fights on the LFA Fight Network on YouTube. 3 fights coming your way at no cost. Let's check out the action. We kick things off with Whittany Pyles taking on Nejra Repp in a 129-pound catch weight matchup. Then it's Justin Thompson taking on Ethan Birmingham. Birmingham putting his spotless 2-0 record on the line. And we will wrap up in the women's strawweight division when Alandria Rosales returns to the LFA octagon to face off with Chelsea Connor. Ladies first, tail of the tape, powered by Artists for Trauma. Pyles is 32 and Repp 1 year older. Pyles is an inch taller and an inch longer in the reach department. Both fighters weighed in at 128. Ron Kruk and the great Michael Chiesa with you tonight to kick off the LFA 180 action from Louisville, Kentucky in the Broadbent Arena. Here's the voice of the LFA Octagon, Mike Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the LFA Fight Network on YouTube for continued preliminary action. This bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the LFA Women's Catchweight at 129 pounds, brought to you tonight by Artists for Trauma, where recovery is an art. To find out more, visit artistfortrauma.org. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial arts stands 5'4", weighed in 128.4 pounds. She holds a professional record, 2 wins, 1 defeat, with both wins coming by way of knockout. Representing Factory X, fighting out of Inglewood, Colorado, by way of Sarajevo, Bosnia, Nejra, the Bosnian bombshell Repp. Her opponent across the octagon, fighting out of the red corner, is a mixed martial artist standing 5'5", weighed in 128.4 pounds. She holds a professional record 4-6, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. Representing Tech MMA and Fitness Academy, fighting out of Christiansburg, Virginia, Whittany Pyles. Your referee, George Conley.
All right, we run over the rules in the back. Protect yourself at all times, listen to me at all times. Touch your gloves now if you want to, and go back to your corners.
Whittany Pyles with the red tape. 1-1 record here in the LFA Octagon, and Nejra Repp, she comes in with a 2-1 mark overall. All of her professional fights taking place, Michael, right here in the LFA Octagon.
And she's Tapology's #1 ranked female fighter in the Pacific Northwest, the best part of the USA, if I must say so myself, Ron.
Fighting out of Factory X now, originally from Bosnia, and as Michael pointed out, Seattle, and now fighting out of Englewood, Colorado. She's coming off a decision loss to current flyweight champion Shannon Clark. And right now, Whittany Pyles letting her hands fly. Fighters clinch up.
Yeah, I mean, Repp really putting the pressure on her, and Whittany Pyles responded with a nice combination. Instead of backing up on the straight line and let herself get pinned against the fence, she did a good job throwing with some volume, but she still finds herself taken down, fighting from her guard right now.
Nejra Repp on her back. Whittany Pyles comes in with a 1 victory via knockout, 3 decisions.
Really nice stack pass from Repp right now, working from the half guard. Might be setting up a Darce here right now. You can see Pyles is coming up on that underhook card, looking for a deep half sweep. And you saw Repp for a moment there drop in with her right hand. Looked like she's fishing for a Darce, but moved on to a standing arm and guillotine.
Great shot there from her crew, and possibly wisely Repp lets it go.
The cameramen have been doing quite a good job today, even before the show even started.
It's amazing. They don't let anything get by them. That's the thing.
Nothing goes unseen near this LFA Octagon.
Eyes are everywhere.
Yeah, you got to be sharp at all times. Speaking of sharp, Repp in on the clinch right now. Both ladies kind of jockeying for position. And I love the story of how Repp got into MMA. In 2019, she bought a Groupon offer to a gym.
Yes.
And ever since then, she's been hooked. And those are pretty cool stories to hear about people's journey in the mixed martial arts. It's everybody's path is so unconventional, to each in their own way. So I think it's pretty fun.
2 LFA veterans and 2 class acts. I love speaking with both these ladies. They leave it all in the gym. Whittany Pyles training with Tech MMA and Fitness Academy. Perry Gibson in her corner.
You know, Whittany Pyles had a good opportunity right there where she could have cut away, flanked Nejra Repp, and moved to the center, but she finds herself just backing up on the center line. What she really needs to do is, when she gets space like this, she's got to angle away, disengage from the clinch, because she had a lot of success in the moment that she threw a nice little exchange before these grappling sequences started. So if I'm in Whittany Pyles' corner, I'm imploring her, get out of this clinch, get back to the center, and get some volume striking going.
And there you go, and you can see a little blood streaming from the nose of Pyles now, and Repp punching her way back in to the clinch.
Yeah, you know, I think that she really does her best work at striking range, and all she has to do is circle away from the fence and take the center, and at least that creates more real estate the Repp is gonna have to take away from her to get to the clinch, but she's essentially, she gets some space, but she just kind of hangs out in that phone booth area, and she lets loose with good combinations, but she'd have a lot more success if she took the center of the octagon.
This is really what our current champion Shannon Clark did to Repp too, neutralized her striking by closing in the distance, and that was a tough decision loss back at LFA 170.
But it's one that's aged well, you know. It's to have your only professional loss to be against a current LFA champ. You know,
absolutely.
It's never fun to lose. Oh!
Big shot from Repp. Wow. And she's pounding away now. Put Pyles down. Hammer fists to the side of the head.
She's really going for it here. What she needs to do is cut away these little rabbit punches right here. This is where she needs to get to. Get to where you can generate more power.
Oh, those are more than rabbit punches now, no doubt about it. Posturing up, teeing off.
Switch to elbows. I think a couple elbows would do the job, but I think the Repp's gonna stop the fight any moment here, Ron. Repp is just pouring it on thick, and there's no sign of her.
There we go. George Conley stops this fight. And what a win for Nejra Repp. Quickly erases the memory of her first professional defeat. The Factory X product, fighting out of Englewood, Colorado, gets a big and very impressive victory to kick off the LFA 180 preliminary action.
Man, that was nasty. It looked like Whittany Pyles was on her knees, and it looked like she was trying to get to her feet, and Nejra Repp just winded up, let loose with a nasty uppercut, and really laid it on thick with a ton of ground and pound. She was in a position where she was in the front headlock, just landing short little rabbit punches, but once she transitioned to where she got behind Whittany and started raining down punches, Whittany was able to to get to her back to a half guard, but that created so much space for Nejra Repp to let loose with the ground and pound. But look at this beautiful sequence here. Nice little trip, and as Whitney's back up to her knee, she just winds up on a really nice uppercut.
Huge shot.
And look at the placement with her hand, Ron. She landed with her thumb and her first knuckle. That's the best part of your fist to land with. And then she just follows up with some really good ground and pound. Starts standing over, landing big, heavy, unanswered shots. This was a very good stoppage, and this was the best way you could bounce back from your first professional loss to get a TKO stoppage win. That's really got to take the sting off, and that's got to feel really good, Ron.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee George Conley stops this fight in 4 minutes, 27 seconds in the first round, declaring your winner by TKO, Nejra, the Bosnian bombshell Repp.
Nejra Repp improves to 3-0. Was born in Bosnia at the beginning of the Civil War there. Her parents fled to Germany before finding sponsorship to the U.S. in 1997. Nejra was 6 years old. This was a huge bounce-back win for the Bosnian bombshell. Repp improves to 3-1. For the first time, the LFA Octagon touches down here in Derby City, Louisville, Kentucky, the birthplace of Muhammad Ali, and a great combat sports town. Let's now take a preview of this stacked LFA 180 card.
The LFA returns to the Bluegrass State with a high-stakes showdown at LFA 180. In the main event, top thoroughbreds collide in an explosive featherweight showdown. Lance Lawrence is the poster boy for MMA in Kentucky. Born and raised in the hometown of Muhammad Ali, Lawrence embodies the Louisville Lips fighting spirit. Now, as the LFA heads to Derby City for the first time, the man known as the Tornado is bringing a whirlwind of excitement to Louisville in the main event of LFA 180. He will face Landry, the Lone Star Kid Ward. The proud Texan returns to action after enjoying a career year in 2023, where he headlined an LFA event in front of his home fans to won a fight that was nominated for the LFA Fans' Choice Awards Fight of the Year. Also returning to the LFA Octagon, NCAA wrestler Richie El Machete Miranda, Israeli National Muay Thai champion Kabedi Gordon, no-nonsense powerhouse Alec Lorenz, and NAIA wrestler Jesse Martinelli. Live from the Broadbent Arena at the Kentucky Exposition Center in Louisville, Kentucky, LFA 180 starts now.
Getting promoted to main event status earlier this week is Louisville local and Dana White Contender Series vet Lance Lawrence. He will have that home cage advantage when he tangles with Texas-born fighter and Kill Cliff FC product Landry Ward in a pivotal featherweight matchup. The original headliner, Kevin Fernandez, was scheduled to face Brazilian Igor Sejudo, but he was struck by a car, Michael, while jogging in preparation for this fight, forcing him to withdraw. But fortunately, Fernandez avoided serious injury. And the good news for Sejudo is he will now be facing Imar Hernandez next Friday, April 5th at LFA 181. We have business to take care of here in Kentucky first. As we check out the fight odds powered by Bet Online, make sure you scan the QR code on the screen for the latest odds and to get in on the action here at LFA 180. Man, Landry Ward, Michael, comes in as a 5-1 favorite. The comeback on Lance Lawrence, the hometown hero, plus 375. I'm a little surprised at those large odds. I'm excited for the co-main event with Richie Miranda and Keegan Agnew. Agnew, the slight underdog at plus 150, Miranda minus 180. What fight or fighter has caught your eye, my man?
I mean, I'm a big Richie Miranda fan. I just feel like he's constantly evolving. I'm a big fan of Ben Jones and what he's doing with his team. Just a lot of bright prospects. I think that Richie Miranda is going to be, he's going to be like his next Jacob Rosales. He's going to be his next guy that breaks through. Just a wealth of talent, that young man. And Ben Jones can't speak enough to the work ethic and the dedication to the game. And I'm a fan of hearing those kinds of things from the coaches. So I'm a big Richie Miranda fan. I know he's got a tough fight. I'm looking forward to it tonight, Ron.
I am too, Michael. Moving to the featherweight division in a matchup between Lexington, Kentucky's Justin Thompson and Arkansas's Ethan Birmingham. Tail of the tape presented by Kentucky Army National Guard. Thompson is 25 years old. Birmingham is 5 years younger. He is also 4 inches taller and will have a 2-inch reach advantage. Birmingham did miss weight and came in heavy. He will pay a penalty to Thompson. Back inside the octagon, here's Mike Kendall.
Fight fans, this contest is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the LFA Featherweight division. Brought to you tonight by the Kentucky Army National Guard. Be a part of something greater. Visit online at nationalguard.com. And now, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, This jiu-jitsu style fighter stands 6 foot tall, weighed in 148.6 pounds. He holds a professional record, 2 wins, 0 defeats, 1 win coming by way of knockout and 1 by way of submission. Representing Law School MMA and the House MMA, fighting out of Wayne, Arkansas, Ethan, the Arm Assassin, Birmingham. His opponent across the octagon, fighting out of the red corner, is a kickboxer and jiu-jitsu style fighter, standing 5'8", weighed in 146 pounds. He holds a professional record, 3 wins, 1 defeat, all 3 wins coming by way of submission. Representing Hybrid MMA, fighting out of Lexington, Kentucky, Justin Thompson. Your referee, Rob Mooney.
All right, guys, we went over instructions in the back. I expect a good, clean fight. Defend yourself at all times. Any questions? Any questions? Touch them up.
2 top young prospects in the featherweight division making their LFA debuts tonight. There's Justin Thompson, red tape, and the red and black trunks. Ethan Birmingham, the 20-year-old from Wayne, Arkansas. He's got the blue tape and the red, white, and blue trunks.
I wish we could have had a fighter meeting with Ethan Birmingham because I need to know what the Arm Assassin nickname comes from. I mean,
I like it.
I'm trying to come up with it in my mind, but really nothing's coming to me, Ron. Maybe it's a technique that he's got up his sleeve. We'll find out.
2-0, 1 victory via rear naked choke and 1 knockout. And right now, Birmingham looking for that single leg takedown.
He's arming himself with a nice single leg.
Whoa, you better save yourself. We got a lot of fighting going on. The LFA 180 main card coming up. 9 o'clock Eastern. If you haven't done so, sign up now at UFCFightPass.com. You will not want to miss this stack card and more zingers like that from Michael Chiesa.
Ethan right now, his head is below his butt. You can see that his butt, you see how his butt's higher than his head? It's harder to get that takedown. What he needs to do is, I eat my words, and he gets his body lock, but essentially it makes it more efficient. It's not like you can't get the takedown when your head's a little too low and your butt's a little too high, but ideally, if it's the other way around, it's easier for you to pop your hips, get the lift, and it's a lot more efficient, whereas that takedown, he kind of had to will his way into it and exert a lot more energy than necessary.
Birmingham, a brown belt in BJJ, 3-0 in pro grappling matches, started in jiu-jitsu at 11, and a mad scramble here, and something happened. Oh, it looks like Justin Thompson may have injured his knee. Referee Moody jumps in quickly, and this is terrible to see.
Yeah, this fight was shaping up to be pretty good, Ron. Good thing we have a great set of cameras in this arena, because I'm sure we got a great angle of it. Nothing gets missed around here, but you know, I'm curious if it's the knee or if it's Achilles.
Yes.
All jokes aside, I don't think it was any type of bone fracture, because there was no contact. It was just something happened in that weird sequence when he hooked the head of Ethan Birmingham, and then once he got to his feet, something must have happened in this scramble. Maybe his foot got caught on the canvas.
And he screamed right away, so we know that Justin Thompson was in indefinite pain.
Well, when you're adrenaline, you're having an adrenaline dump and you're amidst a fight, and if something hurts that bad to where you stop and you're immediately screaming in anger or in pain, I mean, it's gotta be something serious.
Yeah, 100%. You hate to see it, but the ringside physician and his staff, they came in here real quick, and they were on top of it.
They're pointing to the outside of the knee, which tells me ACL, but look.
Let's look at the scramble,
it's
Michael.
The left leg, yes. Look how he posts. Right there, you can see the this outside of his knee pop. Oh, that wasn't it. It's right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Put his weight on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a real old school reference. It was kind of like, and thank God it wasn't as bad as the Joe Theismann injury on Monday Night Football, but the same where a player puts his weight on top of another, and we'll take one more look at it, and that should do it.
Ethan tried to jump on the back, and lock in a body triangle,
Yeah.
get his hooks in, and he wasn't able to hook himself up higher than the waist, and as he slid down, that was all of his weight on the outside of that left leg of Justin Thompson.
I love this, though. Ethan Birmingham goes over to console Justin Thompson.
That's tough.
And this crowd here in Louisville appreciates the effort. And I'm going to tell you, we've done 180 LFA events, Michael, and this crowd is loud. They have brought it, and they are psyched to have the LFA here in Derby City. All right, now let's get the official word. Here's Mike Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee, Rob Mooney, calls a stop to this fight. 1 minute, 38 seconds into the first round, declaring your winner by TKO due to injury, Ethan, the Arm Assassin Birmingham.
Third straight win as a pro and 11th in a row, including his amateur career. That is another first round finish. This one coming by way of injury, but still 100% finishing rate for the 20-year-old Ethan Birmingham. And Michael, I was, unfortunately this fight came to an end a little too soon, but I am really impressed with Ethan Birmingham. I want to see more of this kid. He trains with Law School MMA and the House MMA from Wayne, Arkansas. Was so comfortable and relaxed in his LFA debut, did not let the bright lights and big stage get to him.
No, not at all, and that was a game opponent. I mean, Justin's 3-1. He's a tough kid. He's from a good gym as well, and it's just a shame, that was really shaping up to be a really good fight, but that's just MMA. You just expect the unexpected. Anything can happen when that octagon door closes, man. I've been in this sport, Ron, for 16 years. And just when I think there's something I haven't seen, something else happens, and this is one of those instances where I've never seen a knee injury happen in that type of sequence. So, that's mixed martial arts for you, man. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, I was impressed by the staff here. They moved in real quickly and got to work. So well done, and props to the commission and the staff here in Louisville. Well, after an unfortunate accident, speaking of unfortunate accidents, knocked original headliner Kevin Fernandez out of this main event matchup with Brazilian Igor Siqueira. Two young prospects, Lance Lawrence and Landry Ward, get main event billing and the biggest opportunity of their young careers.
I'm Lance Lawrence, aka the Tornado, and I'm fighting in the main event of LFA 180 tonight. I'm born and raised in Louisville for the majority of my life. My mom actually gave me the name, the Tornado. Whenever I'm around, things break, disasters happen. When I started fighting, the people around me thought, yeah, that's your nickname. I was begging to get on this show is when I first heard about it, and now here I am as the main event. It feels like it's all coming to fruition. I'm used to being the main event in fights. I didn't expect to be it, but me and Landry are still going to do the same thing we were going to do, no matter what.
The Lone Star Kid.
I'll be fighting in the main event of LFA 180 tonight, the Lone Star Kid, Landry Ward. I always feel like I'm a main event fighter, so I'm excited to just step in there. Nothing changes, just gonna go put on a great performance.
Statement win here tonight. The tough Oklahoman in Alfred Walker.
After my last fight, I had to go do some tape study, not on anyone else but myself. I kind of had to put myself where I was in the time of my fights, and I really feel I've made the adjustments to my game, creativity, landing shots on people's chins and putting them out. Being able to come be the bad guy, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Boos, cheers, whatever comes my way. It's all outside factors when it comes down to it, and I'm ready to take care of business inside the cage.
Well, there is no doubt about it that the Lone Star Kid will get a hostile reception when he makes the walk. And I love what he said there, Michael. He's like, bring it. I love going into my opponent's backyard. I love the boos. And they're going to hear it as the hometown hero, Lance Lawrence, gets his shot. Louisville's own. Michael, he's a Dana White Contender Series veteran. He lost on the Contender Series to Kevin Seiler, but his opponent weighed in 6 pounds heavier. I asked him, do you regret taking that fight? And he says, I think about that all the time. It was a hell of a fight. I lost to an opponent who massively missed weight, but do I regret it? Not really. A lot of good things came from that experience.
And that's a tough situation, Ron, where as a fighter you have so much pride, and I'm sure for him there was at some point a sense of like, I'm backing down from a challenge by not taking this fight. So it's good that he doesn't look back and regret. I'm sure he's proud of himself for the way he handled the situation. He went out there, he fought his butt off, he had a great fight. And while things didn't go his way, it's also something to keep in mind, Ron, which I'm sure he's not aware of this, but it's harder to stay there than it is to get there. So for him, it gives him more time to polish his technique. He's already a tough fighter, gives him more time to polish his technique. So I'm sure we'll be seeing him back in the Dana White Contender Series if he can get past Landry Ward.
That is the main event here at LFA 180, but we have one more, third and final preliminary fight on the LFA Fight Network and YouTube. Ladies, begun and will end the prelims tonight. Back to the strawweight division and matchup between Chelsea Connor and Alandria Rosales. Tail of the tape, powered by Bet Online. Rosales is 29 and Connor 4 years her elder. Rosales is an inch taller and will have a massive 5.5-inch reach advantage. Both ladies made their contracted weights.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the LFA Strawweight division. Brought to you tonight by Bet Online, the official online sportsbook of the LFA. And now, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5'1", weight in 115.4 pounds. She holds a 2-3 professional record with 1 win coming by way of submission. Representing Fightopia MMA and Smile Bank Training Center. Fighting out of Piqua, Ohio, Chelsea Tiny Tank Connor. Her opponent across the octagon, fighting out of the red corner, is a catch wrestler standing 5'2", weight in 115.6 pounds. She holds a professional record, 3 wins, 2 defeats, with all 3 wins coming by way of submission. Representing the Den Training Center, fighting out of La Habra, California, by way of Hendersonville, Tennessee, Alandria El Chica Rosales. Your referee, Rob Mooney.
All right, ladies, we went over the rules in the back. Obey my instructions at all times. Defend yourself at all times. If you're going to touch, let's do it now. Come out, let's ready to fight.
Ron Kruk and Michael Chiesa here for the final preliminary fight on the LFA Fight Network. LFA 180. Chelsea Connor. She has the blue tape and the teal shorts. And LFA mainstay, Alandria Rosales, red tape and the American shorts. She is making her 6th LFA appearance. All of her pro fights have been with the LFA. She comes in as Typology's number 17 ranked female fighter in California, and she is coming off a decision loss to Kendra McIntyre at LFA 165. Looking for a big win here tonight, Michael.
Yeah, and it's not going to come easy because Chelsea Connor is moving very good on the outside. I love the way that she's taking the angle on the leg kicks, and after she lands, she skirts out of the way. So essentially, she's not a stationary target. She's constantly moving after those leg kicks, and that's going to be important because she's not setting them up with punches. I don't disagree with naked leg kicks. As long as there's movement, I don't consider it to be a naked leg kick. If there's movement before and movement after, but if you stand right in front of your opponent and just throw that kick with no setup, you're just begging for trouble. So I love the way Chelsea Connor is approaching her leg kick game plan.
Chelsea Connor 0-1 here in the LFA, but lost to the tough Eleni Pereira, sister of Alex. 3 decisions in a row for her. Looking for her first victory, though, here in the LFA, and Rosales slips.
And Rosales is a little marked up already under that right eye. She's really just having a hard time getting a beat on Chelsea Connor because Chelsea's just constantly moving. It makes it so hard for Rosales to find her range, to establish the right hand. She's just constantly having to chase Connors around the octagon right now.
Connor, a Dutch kickboxing and judo specialist, brown belt in judo. Actually coaches wrestling as well in Ohio.
I'm sure that everybody listening to the, watching this fight right now can hear Ben Jones off to my right because I can hear him entering the microphone and getting into my ears right now.
It's Ron Kruk, Michael Chiesa, and head coach Ben Jones. I always love to hear Ben's coaching. He has a very unique approach, and he always throws out some crazy terms. Mike Tyson or Evander Holyfield. Hey, we're in Louisville. I want to hear Muhammad Ali too.
Yeah, or Lamar Jackson.
There
something like that. I think Ben Jones, a grossly underrated coach in this sport. He spent a lot of time training under Eric Paulson at CSW. Broke away, he's doing his own thing. He's got a great team. And his team, they're a mainstay here at LFA. And I love listening to him coach as well. He's a great guy, in and out of the sport, and he's got a tough team. And his fighter's got a tough fight on her hands right now.
Without a doubt.
I don't like the way that Chelsea Connors is taking that right leg and trying to do almost that Carlos Condit style kind of reverse teep where she kind of takes the arch of her foot, kind of hits the shin. I think it's a pointless strike. It doesn't do damage. I don't even really consider it to score a point because it's so easy to counter. Unless you're Carlos Condit, it just doesn't work for anybody. He's the only guy I ever saw have success with that strike. So if I'm Chelsea Connors' coach, I'm telling her, stop doing that kick. I don't even know what the name of it is. I feel baffled right now. It's rare that I don't have a name for a technique, so I'm like, I don't even know what you call that.
I'm shocked you're not just making something up.
Yeah, I know. I totally. That's probably what I should have done. I'm gonna think of something.
How about the oblique kick?
Yeah, the oblique kick. We'll just go with that. But I just don't like the way she's throwing that kick. It's just putting her in position. She throws it naked on a center line. It's a very stationary kick. It's a great way to get countered. But now she finds herself on the fence as Rosales starting to get that grappling offense going, and I think that's going to be what she needs to get herself back in this fight.
Alandria Rosales, 3 victories, all 3 coming by way of submission.
And if I'm Rosales, what I would be doing right now is I would pick a side and I would start looking for the takedown. I know that she's scoring some points inside, kneeing the body, but if I'm her, I'm picking a side I want to go to, and I'm going to try to create a negative angle with Connor's hips. I always say this in wrestling: if I can get my opponent's hips to where they're facing away from me, that's the angle I need to take to get the takedown. So if she can step the corner and get to where Connor's hips are not facing her, those are negative hips, that's a negative angle, that's the best time to attack.
30 seconds to go in the opening round of this LFA strawweight matchup. Alandria Rosales, and big round for Chelsea Connor, no doubt about it. Rosales throwing some knees in the clinch.
Yeah, both girls jockeying for position. Now Connor's starting to let loose some elbows on the inside. This is really shaping up to be quite the fight, Ron.
We thought it would be, and it has been quite a barn burner so far. Oh, Rosales throwing, and
they fought right to the bell.
Horn sounds. Make sure you are following the LFA on all social media platforms at LFA Fighting. Preliminary action, select prelims air on the LFA Fight Network on YouTube. For exclusive interviews, articles, and new editions of Inside LFA, check out LFA Fighting.
Very interesting. Chelsea Connors opts not to sit on the stool.
Let's get a hold of her. How did she
That's
feel?
a body language thing, Ron.
See? So that's where we got to go lying in. You won the round. She got you up against the cage. That was it. Come on.
Well, Michael, Chelsea Connors' corner believes she won that round. Do you agree?
You know, I would say so. I think she, from what I saw by the numbers, I would think that she outstruck her. And when Rosales started to kind of get some momentum in the grappling, Connors was able to circle away and get her striking offense going again. So I give it a 10-9 round for Chelsea Connor.
Chelsea Connor got her first win in 6 years back in August.
And to get it here, nonetheless, makes it that much more impressive.
Second LFA appearance.
Keep working those reds and blues.
went 7-1 and won 3 titles as an amateur. And she goes back to 2009 when she started training.
Wow, that's a year before, or a year after I did, which is crazy. That's 15 years in the game. Wow. Hardest sport in the entire world. I'll argue that all day. But there's that kick from Chelsea Connor. She needs to stop throwing it. That's getting Alandria Rosales back in this fight, because it's a stationary naked kick. It's just, there's no place for that in mixed martial arts. She's got to do what she's been doing, chop the legs and use the movement.
Rosales' striking is now, they're finding the target. And now we'll see if Connor picks up and slams Alandria Rosales.
That was a beautiful takedown. She got to the single leg, dropped her hips, popped them, and just lifted Rosales in the air and got the big slam takedown. That reminds me of like a Daniel Cormier type takedown. Daniel Cormier was
100%.
The type of fighter to get in on an outside single or inside single, just pop his hips, elevate you, and dunk you on your shoulder blades. And man, Chelsea Connor air chaired Rosales. That was beautiful.
Now from side control, and a big opportunity for Chelsea Connor. Got to be careful though. Rosales extremely dangerous. The purple belt and BJJ off her back.
And the catch wrestling style that Ben Jones' team has. I mean, it's a different style of grappling that you're just not used to. There's so many different ways that they're able to catch submissions in different positions that are unconventional to BJJ. So while I'm not one to encourage throwing up Hail Mary submissions while I'm in side control, it's one of those things where if you come from a catch wrestling background, they probably have a lot of aces up their sleeve in any position. So I wouldn't implore it, but I wouldn't be against it in this scenario.
Under 3 minutes to go, second round.
I just think that Connor just stunned her from the get-go with the movement, the kicks, just never really gave Rosales an opportunity to get into this fight. And right as I say that, she's able to bridge and get her way out of side control.
Beautiful transition. And now the opportunity goes Rosales' way.
Yeah, Rosales is on the neck. Maybe looking for a one-arm guillotine, but Connor's working the deep half. You can see she's got both of her legs in that lockdown position.
Plenty of time to operate.
The problem with the lockdown position is it essentially traps your opponent on top of you, and it traps yourself underneath them. Right now, Connor isn't even working for a sweep. She's just got her lockdown, pinning her opponent on top of her. And the problem is if you are on bottom, you are losing the fight. Unless you are doing damage or getting your opponent in a lot of submission trouble, you are losing the fight if you are on bottom. So I'm not a big proponent for lockdown in MMA because you're just pinning yourself on bottom.
Yep, and underhook that thing, bring it up high.
That's Ben Jones yelling for the underhook from his fighter, Alandria Rosales.
And Connor's kind of raised her left hand. I wonder if that guillotine's tight. That lockdown might be saving her from having Rosales be able to get the full arch and get that knee to the other side of that guillotine. And she rolls out.
Michael, you called it. But Chelsea Connor able to get back up on her feet.
She's got the right angle with the guillotine, but now she hits a couple knees. Rosales got herself back in that fight. That sequence from the moment that she was able to escape from side control, latch on that guillotine, she really started to get some momentum to get herself back into this fight.
Hey, run your badger right there.
1 minute to go.
And here you hear Ben Jones calling for the badger. And from what I gathered, it looked like it was a double overhook outside trip. I could be wrong. It's hard to decode our coach's code.
Alandria Rosales finding its mark. Chelsea Connor just smiling as she ate a couple of violent shots.
Yeah, she's so tough. Both of these ladies showing tremendous resiliency. And Rosales going back to the guillotine, going back to the well. Nice snap down. She gets Connor on her hands, gets the weight on her hands. Now she's starting to work the body. Oh, devastating elbows.
You bet.
What she needs to do, there you go, step behind, but not get high. She's got to be careful right now, Ron. If she tries to step her leg and she's going to get high and she's going to lose the position. If I'm her, I'm getting behind the hips, staying behind the arms, landing ground and pound, and just trying to score points to open up opportunities to get to the neck.
Time winding down here in the second round, and there is the horn. What a big round for 29-year-old Alandria Rosales. If Connor was able to get that first round, I think Rosales evened it up for sure.
Man, that was a beautiful slam takedown, Chelsea Connor. And then right here, you see, it's almost like a gator bacon. It's this wrestling position. I actually asked why they call it a gator bacon today. I asked Bo Nickel. I haven't heard back from him yet, but beautiful gator bacon escape is what I'm gonna call it. And then right here, you see Rosales drops on the guillotine, and as Connor comes up, she starts to land some knees while she's in this front headlock position, and this is a really nice sequence. Starts to beat her up inside. Really nice left hook, right cross, starting to lay the pressure on, get the volume going at the end of the round. A really just like a 10-shot combination. And then right here, you see Connor looking to get that takedown, but I got this fight 1-1. It's gonna boil down to the next 5 minutes or less as to who gets their hand raised in this contest.
Go, buckle up. Third and final round between these two. Top strawweights, and Rosales comes out quickly and goes back to her combinations, but Connor countering.
That's exactly what Rosales needs to do. She's got to be the one to initiate the offense. You know, I just feel like Connor kind of stunned her with all the movement, getting the low kicks going, and I think that Rosales made the right decision. Right when the bell rings, you got to sprint right in her face, start throwing punches, and close the space before she starts to run away from you.
Some good old-fashioned foot stomps, but a beautiful trip from Connor. Plants Rosales on her back.
Beautiful hip toss. I mean, the way that Connor pops her hips, man, those are educated wrestling hips. They don't lie. She knows what she's doing. She stepped the angle, popped her hips, got the beautiful judo takedown right into side control. I'd like to see her start to attack some submissions, because if she doesn't, like I said, they're against the fence. Rosales could cage walk. There's a lot of different scenarios that could happen right now with her losing this position.
And Chelsea Connor, the brown belt in judo, and it was on full display with that hip toss. And just when you thought Rosales had control, Connor turns the tables.
Well, what Rosales needs to do right now, she's like kicking on the fence straight back, like trying to kick and bring her knees to her chest. What she needs to do, she needs to swing her knees towards Chelsea Connor's hips and then pendulum them and swing them towards her head. And that'll roll her up onto all fours where she can start to wrestle up back to her feet. But trying to kick off the fence straight back, that's not going to create an escape.
Ben Jones screaming to Rosales, you've got to get up.
Connor looking for an Americano right now. You can see her she's starting to attack that hand. And now judo players, keep in mind for everybody watching this back home, judo players are particularly good with their arm locks. That's a big part of the repertoire of judo technique, are arm locks and arm bars. So Connor attacking that Americana is to be taken very seriously.
Oh, wow. Now Connor on the back of Rosales.
Connor needs to arch her hips right now. She needs to arch her hips. There, that's perfect. Arch her hips and then start to rain down, ground and pound. This is a great position. Ooh, right in the ear.
Rosales in trouble,
She's
Michael.
on her right now. Those
this
are
fight
nasty.
could be stopped. Connor looking for her first win.
She's high. She's high. Rosales needs to walk her hands towards her legs, but Connor flattens her back out.
That was huge to flatten her back out, and she goes back to the hammer fist.
And now she gets to half guard. Wow. Holy smokes, Ron. Jeez.
Coming up on 2 minutes in this final round. What action between Rosales and Connor.
The ref was very close to stopping the fight. I wouldn't even have disagreed if he stopped the fight. That was a lot of unanswered shots, and that's a testament to the toughness of Rosales to will her way out of that position. And now she's wrestling back up to her feet to get herself back into this fight.
Oh my.
And Connor's having none of it. She just hips her over, just being a bully right now. And Rosales makes her way back to her feet.
Oh, big opportunity for Rosales.
And she
can keep that distance.
She's biting down on the mouthpiece, throwing big right hands. That's what she's got to do.
Oh my gosh.
Might be gassed right now.
Rosales coming back.
Might be gassed. Here we go, Ron. Oh, big elbow. Big right elbow.
This place is going nuts.
They are letting it fly right now. Rosales needs to get off the fence. There was almost a momentum shift there, Ron. Big momentum shift, but Connor took it away from her, gets Gets her smothered against the fence, and precious time on the clock is ticking away for Alandria Rosales.
What a fight. Both Connor and Rosales have their husbands in their corner as well.
Are they the same weight
Connor,
class?
and I'm not sure.
That'd be funny.
I see now you're matchmaking too. You do it all. Of course,
Step
Jacob
side, Mark
Rosales in Alandria Rosales' corner. 30 seconds to go, Michael.
Man,
It's going to be a tough one to judge and call.
You know, I still think that this is a Connor round. I think Alandria did the right things, getting to her feet, starting to let loose combinations, but this is her last chance. She's got 15 seconds to steal this from the judges.
Both swinging wildly now.
But Connor answers. Just an incredible display of technique, toughness, and resiliency from both of these females. What a fight.
And what a battle. This place is up on, everyone's up on their feet.
I'm up on my feet.
I'm up, let's go.
Wow.
Incredible. These two ladies left it all in the octagon tonight.
That was incredible.
What a battle. The LFA women's strawweight division is stacked.
Yeah, that fight had a little bit of everything, and we're gonna go over this third round right here. You can see right here, look at the way that Connor jacks up that underhook, gets her hips out front, hits a beautiful judo throw right into side control. She starts to land some short elbows, and then right here, you see Rosales start to give up her back, kind of going into desperation mode, and Connors takes it back very quickly, gets her hook sunk in, starts to rain down ground and pound, and this fight was all but done. The referee was so close to stopping this fight. Just in this sequence too, you can see Connor arching her hips, starting to land brutal ground and pound, just ear hole shots with just serious power and volume. I mean, there was a point, Ron, where I wouldn't have disagreed with the stoppage.
I thought he was going to.
But then look at this, Rosales comes back. Double up, triple up on that right hand, 4 in a row to the knee. Just really let it all fly, just drain the tanks, and that's what you gotta do in a close fight like this, is you just gotta go for it. If you get any space or opportunity to get back in the fight, you have to take it, and Rosales did all of that and then some, as well as Connor. What a good fight, Ron. That was a great way to close out the prelims.
Alandria Rosales, 3-2 record here inside the LFA octagon. Chelsea Connor looking for her first victory inside the LFA cage. She came in with a 2-3 record. Rosales looking to bounce back after a tough decision loss to Kendra McIntyre. But these two warriors, what a performance. Let's now get the official decision. Here is Mike Kendall.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. And the judges score this bout 30-27, 29-28, and 29-28, all for your winner. By unanimous decision, Chelsea Tiny Tank Connor.
Second win in a row for the tough mother of 2, Chelsea Connor, has now evened up her record at 3-3 and 1-1 inside the LFA octagon. What a victory for the 33-year-old mom from Ohio. And you gotta love that smile.
Yeah, that was great. Lots to smile about. Relatively not too marked up for as many shots as she took, but man, just an incredible display of technique and toughness. And, you know, no stock loss for Rosales. That was a great fight.
Not at all. Rosales will bounce back. Well, that's going to wrap up the LFA 180 preliminary fights on the LFA Fight Network on YouTube. Join us on UFC Fight Pass next for the main card. Sign up at UFCFightPass.com. For my broadcast partners, Michael Chiesa and Mike Kendall, I'm Ron Kruk, and that is all